Hey guys, Nonsensical Nigel here. I just wanted to say that your house is very safe. Or is it? Pow! And today, guys, we're going to be talking about school stories. We're going to be talking about bullies. We're going to be talking a bit about drama. And we're going to throw in just some goofy random stuff for fun. First, we're going to be talking about bullies. There's three main bullies I have: Ralph, Jeff, and David. Let's first talk about Ralph. So the first time we've ever really had a huge issue with him was during recess. I was playing Foursquare with all of my friends when all of a sudden he walked into the square and pushed me over. So I asked him why he did that, and he said, "What are you going to do about it?" and pushed me again. So I pushed him a small bit back. And the first thing he tried to do is do a punch. But I caught his hand and I sort of just dropped him on the ground. Our next bully is Jeff. And this first instance we had an issue with him was on a Friday, which was a day where we got to go outside a bit early so we could all get some little ices and stuff like that. So me and my friends all went out, and for some reason, he threw rocks at all of us and called one person particularly in my friend group a furry. I obviously asked my friends about it, and they said they've always just sort of had an issue with him. Happily, though, he has been much nicer to people this year and has apologized for all the stuff he's done. Finally, we have David, and he's the funniest out of all of them, because he really likes my channel, which makes me happy, but he also really hates me. So, since we talked about all of my bullies, it's time to go on to drama! First things first, I'm gonna complain a bit about the announcements, reason being that every single time a main character was casted, they would have to do it. And while that sounds super fun to do, the script they gave us wasn't the best. The worst time was when I was in biology class, and after the announcements were supposed to be finished, they mentioned there was a special guest. First, they were talking normally, but then they just started doing moaning sounds. Funniest part about that is technically that was supposed to be my script that day. The only reason I didn't read it was because they didn't want me to miss my test. Now let's talk about our first show, which was Into the Woods Junior. This was my first show and definitely the most popular from my school. And for the cherry on top, I was a main character, which for this being my first show, of course, was a bit nerve-wracking. But the show was amazing, and the best part was I was the show favorite too, which led to me getting in the school newspaper. Then our next show, which was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, was the worst show for my school. People were complaining mainly, though, about the casting. I don't really want to get into it due to the fact that we still have one more topic to get into, but if you are curious, I may respond to you in the comments if you ask. So now that we talked about most of the stuff in drama, it's time to finally just talk about all the goofy random stuff that happened throughout this year. Oddly enough, the funniest part of this year was also the most serious part of this year, which was our finals. Reason being, I apparently failed. And that sounds horrible. Until they called back a few weeks later and they actually said, "I'm sorry, we typed it in wrong. You actually got a good grade." In other words, I was crying for hours because they put in a grade horrendously wrong. Also, they made us spend $50 on a packet we were never going to use now. Another funny thing that happened this year is that kids for a while have been begging for vending machines. And this year, those kids finally got them. And that sounds great. Until 3 weeks later, when 5th graders and 6th graders started breaking the vending machines on upstairs and downstairs with metal, IDs, and flashcards. Happily, it began to slow down and stop near the end of the year, but for weeks, maybe months, we just couldn't use them. But looks like it's about time to wrap everything up. So, thank you for listening, and stay nonsensical. Oh yeah, just a quick thing, I am going to VidCon, so if any of you are there, I hope I get to meet you. Alright, looks like it's about time to wrap up. Bye!